What's up everybody, Jared here with carbuzz.com, and today I am bringing you a full walk around and review of the 2023 Ford Mustang Mach-E GT. I should note at the beginning of this video that this is technically a 2022 model that I am reviewing, but since pricing and information has already been released on the 2023 model year and nothing about this car is really significantly different, I am going to be reviewing it as a 2023 to give you the latest information. So I drove the Ford Mustang Mach-E little over a year ago, and I have been dying to have a go in the faster GT model, which is what we have here. This is not just the GT model, this is actually the GT Performance Edition, which is the quickest version of the Mach-E that you can possibly buy right now, because of course Ford has not built a Shelby version yet. So let's start out on the exterior, where we have this awesome cyber orange paint. I absolutely love the Mach-E in this color. I think it looks great. It is turning a lot of heads. A lot of people are staring at this car and giving me looks in it. You can see on this GT model, we have a dark gray front grille. I really like how that looks versus the body color grille that you get on the standard Mach-E. It just makes it look like it's an actual grille and maybe more like a gas engine car. It's just a small change, but I think one that really makes a big difference. Now, I mentioned that we have the GT Performance Edition, so that is going to change the wheels that you get. You get 245 section Pirelli P0 summer tires. So that's interesting. On the base GT, you're going to get all season tires. So something to note, if you live in cold weather climates where it snows a lot, you might want to opt for the standard GT unless you're just going to swap the tires right when they're new or get winter tires. But yeah, these are not great in the snow with the Performance Edition. You also get Brembo brake calipers behind it, which is an addition that you don't get on the standard Mach-E GT. You also get MagneRide dampers, which we're going to talk about a little bit later when we get it out on the road. We've got our charge door here, which I can go ahead and open up. That's going to be your 240 volt outlet, or you can pull it down to get your DC charging. It charges at 150 kilowatts, so 10 to 80% battery in about 45 minutes, and you can charge at 150 kilowatts, which is not the fastest amongst electric cars right now. 270 miles is your range, but if you get this Performance Edition, that'll drop to 260 miles. Not terrible for the performance that we get here. And you do have a little Easter egg in here that says horsepower with a little Mustang. Elsewhere on the exterior, we still have our little Mach-E E4X all-wheel drive to denote that we have all-wheel drive. Of course, the highest performance versions of most electric cars are all-wheel drive because you get a motor on the front and a motor on the back. You have the really interesting door handles as part of the Mach-E. You can use your phone as a key or the actual key fob. You also have Ford's little pin pad here. As always, you just tap this button, tap it, there you go, and you open it up and you have this little handle right here to grab the door. But I'll show you the interior just a little bit later. Here on the back, it's going to look pretty much like a standard Mach-E. The big difference here is that you're going to have this GT badge rather than a little Mustang logo. Now, you have a button to open this, or I can activate the foot-operated portion of the lift gate, which works like a charm most of the time. The storage space back here is not bad, despite the kind of sloping roof line here. I do have an adequate amount of storage. We also have a little bit of storage underneath, so you can see my charging cable is in there. But this is not the only storage that we have. We also have a frunk, which Ford was gracious enough to engineer in. I know a lot of electric cars do not have it. So there are a couple ways to get into the frunk. You have to pull this tab twice, almost like you were unlocking the hood of an engine, obviously, because that's what this is. You don't want this flying open as you're driving. Now you can do it from the touch screen as well. They have updated that since the last time I drove the Mach-E. You can see you have a decent amount of space in here. You know, if you just run out in the back, or maybe you wanted to put your charging cable or a bag up here, it's not huge. You do have some cup holders in here, and there is a little button in case somebody gets stuck in there, which, you know, it's super small. It would have to be like a child or something. Like, hopefully that doesn't happen. Now I'm going to show you the back seats here. Same deal. You just push the button. It's going to pop the door open. Now we can get in. We've got this nice like suede interior here with like leather on the outside. It's quite a nice seat. We do have air vents and USB-C back here. Of course, we should. This is quite an expensive vehicle. It would be pretty bad if it didn't have rear air. You can see my leg room is pretty good. The seats are kind of carved out here in the back. This feels really nice, this kind of suede-ish material here. We also have a full glass roof. That is now standard on the Mach-E GT. You used to have to opt for this. It was like $1,400, but for 2023, it is going to be a standard feature. So that's pretty much all that I can talk about here in the back. There's not much else more. We have suede on the door liner as well. It's a pretty nice interior, but when I get to the price at the end of this video, I'm not 100% sure that it's really worth the price anymore, because this did get a price increase for 2023. We have B&O audio. It's like a version of Bang & Olufsen that's not quite as good as full Bang & Olufsen, but I do love how it sounds. We also have this really cool kind of carpeted speaker that goes across the dashboard. That is really nice. As part of the Performance Edition package, you get these really beautiful aggressive sport seats that are very comfortable and they hold you in quite well. I like this kind of top portion as well. The only complaint I have them is that they're not ventilated. They are heated but not ventilated. That is something that I would want on a vehicle of this price. And now we're going to go ahead and step on in, and I'll start up the Mach-E GT. This car does have a stop-start button. I know a lot of electric cars are doing away with that, but not the Mach-E GT. We've got this massive 15.1-inch touchscreen. It does have wireless Android Auto and CarPlay that I have had disconnected for filming purposes. You also have this volume knob that is kind of on the screen, which is kind of cool, with like your power button there in the middle. I like this screen. Ford has made some over-the-air updates to it that have fixed a lot of the usability issues that I had with it the last time that I used it. It is less laggy. I have had no issues connecting to wireless Apple CarPlay in this car. I had a bunch of problems with my early Mach-E production car, but none on this Mach-E GT. So I do want to note that Ford has made a lot of progress there. One of my favorite, most interesting features here is this little sketch pad that you can pull up. It's, you know, it's just kind of like a silly thing that you can activate, you know, to kill time while you're charging or whatever. It's kind of fun. You can even pull up, there's like a coloring book as well. Where was that? It was somewhere. Here we go. So you pull this up right here and see, now I can like color in this Mach-E. It's a little bit hard to see with the sunlight right now, but our car is orange, so let me just go ahead and start coloring that in. It's a little bit hard to be precise using just your finger, but you know, your kids might be able to play around with this as well. We've got a little screen here. It's not super big, but I do like that it's there. That's something that Tesla has not done. You have all of your speedo and stuff like that on the main center screen of a Tesla. I like having it in front of me with my range and my speed and all of that. This car does have BlueCruise as well, which is Ford's hands-free driving technology. I'll show you that just a little bit later. We've got a nice leather-wrapped steering wheel that I quite like as well. The storage in here is fantastic. We have cup holders here. We have this huge storage area right here with some storage underneath it as well. We've got our rotating shifter, which is the same as the shifter that you're going to get in a Shelby GT500. We've got our armrest here, which has GT embossed in it for the GT edition. You can also fold this back if you don't want it and have like a little storage area right here, or this slides open and now you can fit something really big. Ford designed this so that you could like put a purse right here very comfortably, which I think is honestly a great feature for women that have a bag. They usually have nowhere to put their bag. And the last thing I'm going to show you is the drive modes, which of course we'll experience when we get out. They're not as boring as like normal sport eco. We have whisper, which is kind of your base quiet mode. We have engage, which is I guess kind of like a sport mode, and then we have unbridled, which is like your real, like let's call it race mode. They even have little descriptions of them: exhilarating drive machine and road align as one. Like, it's kind of funny. Balanced, fun and engaging, seamless drive, calm and quiet. And then you do have unbridled extend. Now this is going to be basically your full track mode. So it does note that this is track, not intended for public roads. Turns off stability control, chassis control, all of those sorts of things. So use that with caution. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about the Mach-E GT. So let's get it out on the road. All right, so let's get the Mach-E GT Performance Edition out on the road. And I remember the standard standard Mach-E being very quick, but it is nothing compared to this GT Performance Edition with 480 horsepower and 638 pound-feet of torque. 600 if you get the base GT. So I have it in unbridled mode, and we're just gonna mash the throttle and see what it does. Whoa, that snaps your neck back. Wow. Jeez, Zooks, that is so quick, zero drama, just right off the line. Oh my gosh, that is incredibly fast. And it's not even just the off the line performance that gets you, it's the fact that you can just do it anywhere, anytime. There's a gap in the road, boom, I'm gonna get it, like so easy. It's kind of crazy how quick this car is. Oh my goodness. Oof. You can just snap your neck back with that acceleration. But what I really love about this GT Performance Edition is the magnetic ride suspension. It grips to the road like crazy. There is very little suspension roll for an SUV. I thought that the standard Mach-E felt kind of like a car. This really feels like a car too. There's like a little bit of squishiness when you really push it too far. This is not like a track weapon or anything. It's still an SUV, but boy, oh boy, you can have a lot of fun in this car. I think that the people who are mad, they called this a Mustang, it's electric, it's not a real Mustang. I don't know, they just haven't driven it, because you can have so much fun with the acceleration. The steering, I think, is as good or better than what you get in a standard Mustang. Maybe not the Shelby GT500 or GT350, but yeah, definitely as good as a regular Mustang. It tenses up when you put it into that unbridled mode, and you definitely feel a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of feedback when you're driving this car fast. It is genuinely fun. I don't know what else to say about this, because I think that you are either just in the crowd of people who are going to embrace this and, you know, take it to car shows and people will just kind of enjoy it, or you're not and you're just going to doubt it forever. But oh my God, the speeds that I can carry in this car are really cool. It's a little bit artificial through the steering wheel, but you know, I don't think that the Mustang has ever been like the ultimate sharp driver's tool until you get up to that Shelby level. So this is just a whole lot of fun to me. The only thing that I'm going to go ahead and say about this that I don't love in terms of the driving experience is the range. Like it's just not that good. 270 miles for the GT, 260 if you get this Performance Edition. You know, there are other performance SUVs coming out soon. The Hyundai Ioniq 5N, you've got the Kia EV6 GT, and those won't be able to do that range. So although this isn't the best range, like you can get a Tesla with like 300 miles, it's not that bad. So all of my complaints are kind of nil at this point. I guess we've just got to talk about pricing. And before I wrap up this video, I did mention BlueCruise, so I wanted to talk briefly about that, because that was not a feature that was available the last time that I drove a Mach-E. Just like the F-150 Lightning and a few Lincoln models, you can now get the Mach-E GT with BlueCruise. That means you can drive completely hands-free on certain highways. So I'm going to go ahead and push the cruise control button. It's going to go ahead and deem whether or not I can activate it. There we go. Now it's going to say BlueCruise ready, and now I can take my hands completely off the steering wheel and let the car do the driving itself. Now, I've noticed that certain tight corners on the highway don't work quite as well as General Motors' Super Cruise system, and it is not so sophisticated that it will move a lane in front of like a slower traffic, and I'm currently signaling it is not doing a lane change for me. I'm gonna have to go ahead and do that myself. So I think that GM's Super Cruise is a slightly better technology. It doesn't deactivate quite as much as Ford's BlueCruise, but Ford's BlueCruise is just a little bit behind GM on certain aspects of development. So I have a feeling that as we go along, we're gonna get yearly updates to this system that are gonna make it better, but it is kind of cool that you can drive your Mach-E GT on the highway hands-free. All right, so that was the 2023 Ford Mustang Mach-E GT. I'm so glad that I finally got to have a go in this because it truly improves upon what I loved about the standard Mach-E and just dialed the fun to 11. But now we have to talk about the elephant in the room, which is the pricing increase for the 2023 model year. You used to be able to get a Mach-E GT for $59,900 plus a tax credit. Now the pricing starts at $69,895. That is really expensive. In fact, that is more expensive than a BMW i4 M50, which is more powerful than the Mach-E GT, and it is a BMW, not a Ford. Now, this performance package that we have on this car is another $6,000, which is going to push the price of this car to just under $76,000. That is a ton of money to spend on any Ford. It's a lot of money to spend on a Mustang, and given the interior, which is okay but not amazing, the performance, which is great but the range, which is not, I'm not sure that I would spend that amount of money on the Mach-E GT. Is it really fast? Yes. Does it look cool? Yes. But can you get most of what you're getting here on a standard Mach-E? Yes. Honestly, I don't know if I personally would get the Mach-E GT unless it was going to be my only car. I would rather save the money on a regular Mach-E and then have a fun weekend toy that runs on gasoline to drive on the weekend. But that is just my personal opinion. Let me know in the comments if you think the Mach-E GT is still worth the price after the increase, or if you think that now it is too expensive and you would rather maybe get something like a Tesla Model Y or the BMW i4. If you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell to be alerted of our latest videos. I'll see you next time.